Suvarna Varno Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krich Chamashanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. Chant.
Swarna Varna Hemango Varanga Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krich Chamashanto Nishta Shanti Parayana.
Swarna Varna Hemango Varanga Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krishna Masanto Nishta Shanti Parayana.
Swarna Varna Hemango Varanga Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krishna Chamashanto Nishta Shanti Parayana.
Okay, nobody else? Suvarna of gold. Varna having the color. Hema Anga, whose body was like molten gold. Vara Anga, having a most beautiful body. Chandana Angadi, whose body was smeared with sandalwood. Sannyasakrit, practicing the renounced order of life. Sama, equipoised. Shanta, peaceful. Nishta, devotion. Shanti, and of peace. Parayana, the highest resort. Translation. In his early pastimes, he appears as a householder with a golden complexion. His limbs are beautiful, and his body, smeared with the pulp of sandalwood, seems like molten gold. In his latter pastimes, he accepts the sannyas order, and he is equipoised and peaceful. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the impersonalist non-devotees. Do we need translation today, this morning? Do you want translation? Do we having Bengali translation? Is it necessary? Ask.
हरे कृष्ण, कितने लोगों को अनुवाद का जरूरत है? हिंदी अनुवाद या बंगाली अनुवाद? कितने लोग? हरे कृष्ण, हरे कृष्ण, हरे हरे. How many of you understand English? Raise hands. Hindi. One is somebody. Those who need Hindi translation, प्रॉपर के पीछे हिंदी अनुवाद होगा. प्रॉपर के बाजू में हिंदी अनुवाद. जिनको हिंदी चाहिए उधर बैठ सकते हैं.
Okay, it would be nice you can repeat after me, because The English translation is not on the board, so please repeat after me. In his early pastimes, he appears as a householder, with a golden complexion. His limbs are beautiful, and his body smeared with the pulp of sandalwood seems like molten gold. In his latter pastimes, he accepts he is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the impersonalist non-devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is a verse from the Mahabharata Dana Dharma Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra. In his commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranam, called the Nam Artha Shuddha, Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusan, commenting upon this verse, asserts that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, according to the evidence of the Upanishad. He explains that Suvarna Varna means a golden complexion. He also quotes the Vedic injunction, Yada Pashya Pashyate Rukma Varnam Kartaram Isham Purusham Brahmayonim, from the Mundaka Upanishads. Rukma Varnam Kartaram Isham refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as having a complexion, the color of molten gold. Purusham means the Supreme Lord, and Brahmayonim indicates that he is also the Supreme Brahman. This evidence too proves that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Another meaning of the description of the Lord as having a golden hue is that Lord Chaitanya's personality is as fascinating as gold is attractive. Srila Baladev Vidyabhusan has explained the word Varanga, meaning exquisitely beautiful. Lord Chaitanya accepted sannyas, leaving aside his householder life to preach his mission. He has equanimity in different senses. First, he describes the confidential truth of the personality of Godhead. And second, he satisfies everyone by knowledge and attachment to Krishna. He is peaceful because he renounces all topics not related to the service of Krishna. Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusan has explained that the word Nishtha indicates his being rigidly fixed in chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna. Lord Chaitanya subdued all disturbing opponents of devotional service, especially the monists who are actually averse to the personal feature of the Supreme Lord. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripri Vancha Kaupa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So this is a very important verse. It appears 3 times in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's quoted 3 times, so you can understand it's very relevant to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When we establish a person as being the incarnation of the Lord, then we don't do it just by votes. You know, you could say, do you vote for this person to be an incarnation of God? And you may get a lot of votes, you know, you can canvass, vote for me, you know, vote for me, make me God. That's not the way to establish the incarnation of God. It's not enough just to have votes. But what you have to have are references from the scriptures to explain the activities of that incarnation. Just like Lord Buddha is described, and his activities are described in the place of birth. And we've also got information about Kalki, that at the end of the Kali Yuga, Kalki will appear, and we're told the village and who the parents will be and what he will do. So, similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also predicted in the scriptures. And we have a number of references, and this is one of the very important references, which is coming from the Mahabharata, from the Vishnu Sahasranam, one of the names of the Lord, describing his activities. There's another verse also, of course. The other verse is from the 11th canto, where Karabhajana Muni is one of the 9 Yogendras, and he's explaining to Maharaj Nimi about the incarnations of the Lord in each age. So that is also a very relevant verse, very powerful in establishing the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as being the avatar for the Kali Yuga. So here in this verse, it describes, first of all, they talk about the color, Suvarna. Suvarna, I was remembering, we were on Parikrama and we go to hear about Suvarna Sen, right? Subhak Swami won't know. Suvarna Vihar, yes, right, in Suvarna Vihar. So there was one king, Suvarna Sen. He was very attached to gold. He was a very materialistic king. But Narada Muni came and preached to him and enlightened him. And he went on to become Buddhimanta Khan, right? He became Chaitanya Lila. Buddhimanta Khan was Suvarna Sen previously. Buddhimanta Khan paid for the marriage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anyway, here Suvarna, it's Suvarna Varna, having the color of gold. So who else has the color of gold? Radharani. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, right? Radharani has the golden color. So similarly, here the Lord's incarnation is described that he is a golden color. And Hemang gold, molten gold. So then Vara Anga, meaning his body is very beautiful, very attractive. Mahaprabhu, it is said, Lord Rama came with weapons, and his weapon, Lord Rama has his bow and arrows, his astras, and Lord Krishna had his Sudarshan chakra, and sometimes even Komadaki, the club. What is Lord Chaitanya's weapon? His weapon was his beauty, his very attractive features, that it just conquered the minds of people. Sometimes, you see someone and you think, wow, who is that? Mahaprabhu was just so amazing. It was just so wonderful that everyone who saw him, they would be, wow, who is this personality? That he is so wonderful. So Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like that, exquisitely beautiful. This is a weapon to defeat the Maya, the minds of the materialistic people. Because the Kali Yuga, the Lord's not going to kill the demons. He has to change them. And he changes them just by his all attractive form, his features. So that is also mentioned in the other verse from Srimad Bhagavatam by Karabhajana Muni. He says, Krishna Varnam Tivish Akrishnam Sangha Pangrastra Parshadam. Parshadam, they associate. Sangha, the bodily limbs, the different parts, all very attractive, right? He's Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is all attractive. And similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was all attractive. His golden color and smeared with the pulp of sandalwood. We put chandan. Prabhupada liked to have chandan on his forehead every day. I was wondering about in the winter, because it gets cold, I thought maybe no need to put chandan on the cold weather. But Jananivas said no, he said you must put it. Jananivas said even in the cold weather, Prabhupada wanted chandan. So here, Lord Chaitanya, his body was smeared with chandan. Chandan Angadi, body smeared with sandalwood. So this is the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, you could say, well, this is a very relative thing. We could say that, oh, he may be attractive to some people, but not everybody will find him attractive. Somebody likes this person, other people don't like that person. But this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's attractive to everyone. There's no question of people not liking him. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described like this. It describes the first part of his life. He appears as a householder. So that this is special. that in the beginning of his life, he was in the family life. Actually, the first half of his manifest pastimes, he was in the world for 48 years, and so half, 24 years. And so for the first 24 years, Mahaprabhu was there with his family, with his mother and father. And after his father passed away, his mother had him married. And when the first wife died, she had him marry another woman. So he was in householder life. But he doesn't remain in the household life. The Vedic culture is like that. That if you live 100 years, most of us, of course, we don't live that long, but if you do live 100 years, then half of the life means 50 years. And the scriptures say, Pancha Sordvam Vanam Brajet. From the age of 50, you have to go to the forest. You have to retire from family life. Of course, nowadays you cannot go to the forest, but you can go to the Krishna conscious movement, right? You come to the Krishna consciousness movement and be in the temple and do full-time service in the temple. And we have many devotees doing like that. There were many, for example, many people who were working in the Gulf, in the Middle East, and they get to 50 and they realize it's enough. They come back to India and they take up full-time service, preaching and helping to do different worship in the temple. And in this way, they're preparing for the next life. The Vedic culture is like that you may be householder for some time, but you don't have to remain in household life. You have to move on into the other stages of life, preparing for the next life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he shows the example. In the beginning, first 24 years, he was as a householder. But later, he accepted the sannyas order. Right? At the age of 24, he left the home and he never came back again. He went to Katwa and he was initiated. Actually, for his initiation is very interesting. He went to Keshava Bharati for initiation because he understood Keshava Bharati was actually a devotee. He was not, although he was in the line of Shankar, he was actually a devotee. He was a Vaishnava. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Keshava Bharati, and Keshava Bharati is supposed to initiate him. But before he initiates him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiates him. Right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the Supreme Lord. He doesn't need initiation, but for the sake of society, social purposes, he was going through this. But before Keshava Bharati told him the mantra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him the mantra. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, is this the right mantra? And he told the mantra to Keshava Bharati. And Keshava Bharati heard the mantra, said, yes, very good. Now, and then he repeated the same mantra to Nimai Pandit, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Keshava Bharati first took initiation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he initiated Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So sannyas, like that, very interesting. He accepts the sannyas order. Now, people who accept sannyas order, sometimes they're not so peaceful. Sometimes they're very agitated, they're disturbed. Because coming into the renounced order of life, you give up a lot of things. You make vows to leave the home, leave the everything. Prabhupada said sannyas means walking dead man. Right? Means no more material responsibilities. So Prabhupada himself described that it is a painstaking process. And Srila Prabhupada had some difficulties himself. Just after he took sannyas, he was gored by a bull in Vrindavan. He was gored by a bull. And now he'd just taken sannyas. He was alone. And he was gored by a bull. He was in a very difficult situation. So certainly you would wonder, maybe I did the wrong thing. Maybe I should not have taken sannyas. But anyway, Prabhupada remained steady. He went on. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described. He is equipoised and peaceful. So, in the renounced order of life, ideally you want to be like that. You want to be equipoised and peaceful. You don't want to feel disturbed that, oh, I've renounced, I've given up this sense gratification, now I'm renounced. And you may, sometimes people, they feel regret. And they're given the danda to carry. The danda is like a stick for beating. It's not actually the sannyasi danda is an honor. It's a staff of honor. But if you don't have the right mood as a sannyasi, then it's like a danda for being beaten. It's a punishment. So it shouldn't be like that. And it certainly wasn't for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was peaceful, and he was the highest abode of peace and devotion. The word is Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. Nishta. Nishta means usually very fixed. And here in the purport, Prabhupada mentions how Nishta means that he was very fixed in his chanting, rigidly chanting the holy name of Krishna. Like that, as devotees, Nishta comes after anartha nivritti. You have to pass through anartha nivritti to come to Nishta. So it's quite an advanced stage to be Nishta, to be rigidly fixed in the chanting of the holy name and talking about Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described that he silences the impersonalist non-devotees. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a nice meeting with the Mayavadi sannyasis, and it took place in Benares. Mahaprabhu met with Prakashananda Saraswati, and he was a very prominent sannyasi in the line of Shankara. So, if you go to Benares, you can see even today, Benares is not a very good place for the Vaishnavas. Although we have a temple there, It's more a place for the Buddhists and for the Mayavadi sannyasis. So Mahaprabhu had gone there because his devotees were there, Tapana Mishra and Chandrasekhar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had met Tapana Mishra before he took sannyas. It was in what is now Bangladesh. Mahaprabhu had gone to travel, had gone visiting, traveling as a teacher. He was traveling and doing some teaching and having also Sankirtan. So at that time he'd been approached by Tapana Mishra. And Tapana Mishra had asked him about how to pursue the goal of life, how to get perfection in spiritual practice. So Mahaprabhu told him that you can go to Benares and I will meet you there later. In other words, Mahaprabhu, by saying this, he was revealing that actually he was planning to take sannyas. He knew that in the future he would renounce and take sannyas and go to visit places like Benares. So Mahaprabhu came there and he met Tapana Mishra, and Tapana Mishra and Chandrasekhar. They were both there in Benares. And Mahaprabhu came there and he did not associate with any of the Mayavadi sannyasis. Although they were also initiated in the line of Shankara, Mahaprabhu strictly avoided their association. And he would go and do Sankirtan every day. He would chant the holy name and sing and dance. Alone, he would be doing Sankirtan. We have to understand the mood of Mahaprabhu. He could attract people just by singing beautiful songs about Lord Krishna. He would sing beautiful songs. Of course, we know when he was going through the forest of Jarakanda, how was he chanting? Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna, 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 Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare.
Yes, right. Mahaprabhu was chanting like that, beautiful songs, the name of Krishna. All the wild animals became gentle just by hearing Mahaprabhu. From their association with Mahaprabhu, even ferocious animals like tigers and so on became gentle in his presence. And we also have from Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada told us there was 2 lines which are a favorite of Mahaprabhu. We're supposed to sing every morning, especially in Mayapur. Right? Hare Hare Nama Krishna Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudha. Right, these 2 lines are from Mahaprabhu. Later on, Narottam Das Thakur added other lines and extended the song. But initially Mahaprabhu, he had just these 2 lines there from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada said we have 3 mantras. We have the Panchatattva mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, and we have also this favorite song of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Hare Nama Krishna. So like that, Mahaprabhu would sing, but he would sing many other songs, of course. And in the association of Swarup Damodar, he would hear many beautiful songs sung. And then, well, when he met with Maharaj Prataparudra, Maharaj Prataparudra recited Gopi Gita, and he was massaging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and reciting Gopi Gita. And then he came to the famous verse, Tavakatamritam tapta jivanam kavibiritam kaumasapaham Shravana mangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinanti burida. And Mahaprabhu became ecstatic when he heard this. He said, you are burida, you are burida, you are barijana, meaning you are very magnanimous. So Mahaprabhu liked to sing beautiful songs about Krishna. He was always singing. When he came to Govardhan Hill, he was chanting the verse sung by the gopis about the Govardhan Hill. It's there in the Venu Gita. I think it's the last verse. Anyways, in that chapter 21 of the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, the verse is there. Hantayam adrir abali haridasavarya yad Rama Krishna charanas parasha pramodha. Right? The gopis sing about the Govardhan Hill that he is Haridasavarya. He is the very best of all the devotees of Lord Hari. So Mahaprabhu would circumambulate Govardhan Hill singing that song, singing that verse. And when he went to Simachalam, you know that temple in Simachalam? It's near Vishakhapatnam. They have a deity of Lord Nrsingadev, and it's all covered in sandalwood, right? And they only take the sandalwood off one day in the year. What? Akshaya Tritiya. On Akshaya Tritiya, they remove all the sand. There's a huge rush of people. Everybody comes to see the deity, because the only day in the year you get to see the deity. So Mahaprabhu went there and he was singing. What was the song? Just like we sing in Mayapur. It's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. O Grambira Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatam Nashringam Bijaman Badram. Right, Mahaprabhu was singing all these songs, you know. This is how he was engaging himself, always according to the situation. He's going to see Lord Nrsingadev. So he's worshipping Lord Nrsingadev by chanting this beautiful verse. So Mahaprabhu liked to do Sankirtan. He liked to chant the holy name. And it's described also how he came to Mathura. And the very first place he came to Mathura, he was doing Sankirtan. And some Brahmana came forward and began to dance with him. Mahaprabhu was alone. He was dancing, chanting. People were watching. And a Brahmana came and began to dance with him. Later, Mahaprabhu asked the Brahmana, "Who are you? How is it you also dance in the kirtan?" And then the Brahmana said, "Oh, it happened that some time ago, Madhavendra Puri came to my home and I got initiation from him." And when Mahaprabhu heard this, he fell at his feet and offered obeisances to him. And the Brahmana said, "No, you're a sannyasi. I'm the householder." But Lord Chaitanya said, "No, you're the godbrother of my guru. Because you're the godbrother of my initiated." Mahaprabhu had been initiated by Ishwarapuri, and Ishwarapuri was also disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated this Brahmana because he was dancing in the kirtan. He understood he must have had some connection with the parampara. So like this verse describes Mahaprabhu, how he's the symptoms of the Lord. Just like it was described at the time of his birth, there were symptoms, there were bodily features. Nilambar Chakravarti came and saw the child and said, there are 32 auspicious characteristics in the body of this young child. 32 different auspicious characteristics, and they're all mentioned in the scriptures. Things like different parts of the body are red, right? What is red? The palms, the soles of the feet.
Lips.
Huh?
Two lips.
2 lips, yes, right? Like that. Different parts of the body are red. Some parts of the body are broad, some parts are long, some are short. Everything by their symptoms, by their characteristics, not just by popular votes. So, also of course there were markings on the body of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All of these different signs indicated the great personality and the time of the birth. That the time of the birth, if you look at the astrological chart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will see it is the perfect chart. There are no doshas in it, right? We'll look at our own chart and we'll see a lot of doshas, a lot of faults. But when the Lord comes, when the personality of Godhead comes, there are no faults there. Everything is perfect, and it's confirmed by the time of his birth, by the bodily features, the different auspicious markings on the body. Like on the palm of the hand, you will see also the Sudarshan Chakra, the sign of an incarnation of God. And it's mentioned here, the other different symptoms. It's described in the beginning of his life, in householder life. Later in life, renounced order of life. But he is peaceful and equipoised. He's not disturbed that, oh, now I'm a sannyasi. There's no regret. Sometimes people, they go back. Of course, that's not good. But for Mahaprabhu, there's no question. He's very renounced. And he silences the impersonalist, non-devotee. He wants to preach devotion. When he met with Ramananda Rai, he asked Ramananda Rai, give some verses from the scriptures about the goal of life, about the perfection of life. And Ramananda Rai began first of all quoting a verse about Varnashram. Varnashram Purushampara. Like there's a verse which said the perfection of life is achieved by following Varnashram. So Mahaprabhu said, that is external. Mahaprabhu is preaching devotion, pure devotion, not just simply externally performing the duties of a particular ashram. Like, oh, I'm a sannyasi because I wear this dress. No, that's not sannyas. It's not just the dress which makes somebody a sannyasi. and I'm a householder because I have a ring on my finger. No. There are so many other duties required. So Mahaprabhu said, Varnashram, that is external. Go on. And then Ramananda Rai said that karmarpanam, offering the fruit of one's work for the Lord. The verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Yagnatar karmanan yatra loko yam karma bandhana tadakam karma kontya mukta sanga smacharam. Yajjahosi yajjahasi yajjahosi yajtapasyastu kontya tatkurushva mad arpanam. Mad arpanam. Arpana, offering. All that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away should be done as an offering to me. So karma arpana. Ramananda Rai said, like this is the goal of life. Offering everything for the Lord. But Mahaprabhu said, not exactly. He said, you can go higher. He said, go higher. Go higher, because just offering, who are you offering to? Somebody is offering to Ganesh, somebody is offering to Durga, somebody is offering to Shiva. They will offer to all different people. There's no indication about the real goal. It's very open. So this is not what Mahaprabhu wanted. So he rejected that. So then Ramananda Rai quoted again from Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharmam pariyashna mamikam sharanam braja. Now we may think, well, that is surely the goal. That is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. But Lord Chaitanya told Ramananda Rai, keep going, go further, go higher. Because surrender, people have different reasons why they surrender. Their motivation may not be to Krishna. They may surrender, but their intention is not to Krishna. They're just surrendering for their own sake. Just like somebody comes, they want to be a devotee. We had one man in Hong Kong. He said to Prabhupada, I want to take sannyas, Swamiji. So Prabhupada looked at him and said, why? He said, I have a wife and 4 kids at home. It's terrible. So of course Prabhupada did not encourage that man to become. But when Gaur Govinda came, then that was a different thing. That this was a man who was serious and who'd prepared his whole life and who was ready to renounce. So then Prabhupada encouraged him. Anyway, different people have different reasons for surrendering. So Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Rai, go higher. And so Ramananda Rai then quoted a verse about Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Brahma Buddha Prasanatma na shochati na kanchati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. Right? This is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. But Mahaprabhu doesn't want Mishra Bhakti. He wants Shuddha Bhakti. He wants pure devotion. So he told Ramananda Rai, keep going. Go further. And then Ramananda Rai quoted the verse which Mahaprabhu accepted, which he wanted to hear. He quoted a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Lord Brahma. Gyane prayasammuda pasya namanta eva jivanti san mukaritam bhavadiya bhartam. Stane stita shrutigatan tanvan manobir ye prayaso jita jito piya sitais trilokyam. Ramananda Roy quoted this verse and Mahaprabhu said, yes. He said, this is devotion. He said, now let's explore this. Because Mahaprabhu wants to preach about pure devotion, not Mishra Bhakti, but pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti. Right? Rupa Goswami described pure devotion. Anya bilasita sunyam jnana karma janavritam anu kuyena krishna no shilanam bhaktir uttamam. We want this bhakti uttamam, the highest devotion. It should be without any desire for fruitive gain or mental speculation. It should be free from any desire for liberation. One should simply want to serve Krishna favorably and constantly. That is the highest devotion. So when Ramananda Rai quoted a verse which says, he quoted Lord Brahma, which said, one should remain in whatever position one is in and hear about Krishna. One should hear about Krishna from Krishna's pure devotees. You should remain in that position and hear about Krishna from his pure devotees who have given up all materialistic activities and who are simply dedicated to the service of Krishna. In this way, you can conquer Krishna. Although Krishna is Achintya, he is unconquerable, he becomes conquered by the pure love of his devotee. So, like the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was challenging the monists and the impersonalists, he challenged everything which opposed pure devotion. If anybody came to Mahaprabhu, when Mahaprabhu was in the planet, on Jagannath Puri, people would come and they would say, I've written a drama, or I've written a poem, I want to read it to Mahaprabhu. But before they could read it to Mahaprabhu, they first of all had to read it to the secretary, Swarup Damodar. And he would consider if it's proper or not. Because many times people would come with drama and poems which were all rasabas. And Mahaprabhu would feel very unhappy to hear rasabas. So Mahaprabhu was very strict. He liked to hear everything done properly, according to Shastra. And he was preaching the mode of service to Krishna, surrender to Krishna. And he showed it by his own example. He did not just simply say one thing and do something else, but by his own example, he was very strict. So he silenced the monists. The impersonalists were fond of speaking Vedanta. But Mahaprabhu explained Vedanta to them. When he went to Benares, then he sat with Prakashananda Saraswati and they discussed Vedanta. And Mahaprabhu explained to them. And Prakashananda Saraswati agreed. And he accepted. And they all chanted the holy name. And after they all chanted the holy name, then Mahaprabhu sat and took prasadam with them. Now usually Mahaprabhu would never mix with them because they're Mayavadis, they're impersonalists, they would deny the form of the Lord. But once they had chanted the holy name, Mahaprabhu thought, oh, now they're devotees, their devotional life has begun. And he took prasadam with them. Very interesting. And Prabhupada said that is the beginning of devotional life, when we can get people just to accept the prasadam of the Lord. Of course, when they chant the holy name one time, that is the beginning of their spiritual life. Even they may chant jokingly or mockingly, but they have chanted. That is good. And Mahaprabhu recognized that, and therefore he sat with them and took prasadam with them. So in this way, Mahaprabhu is performing these wonderful pastimes. Teaching everybody the importance of humility and surrender. Remember, he went to see the deity one morning and he was standing at the Garuda Staba, and an old lady climbed onto his shoulder to see the deities of Jagannath. But Mahaprabhu said, it's all right. He said, I wish Krishna gave me the same eagerness to see Jagannath. He appreciated the lady's eagerness, that she's so eager to see Lord Jagannath, that she's climbing on my shoulder. How tolerant Lord Chaitanya is. He could be soft as a rose and like a thunderbolt. And when Junior Haridas deviated from the renounced order of life, then he rejected him. He refused to have his association again, that he's gone against the renounced order of life. I can no longer associate with him. So Mahaprabhu could be like a thunderbolt, and he could also be soft as a rose. He was very kind to the fallen, right? He's Patita Pavan, he's come to deliver the fallen souls. And he delivered Keshav Kashmiri. He delivered him from his maya, from his pride, from his illusion of being a great Pandit. He brought him out of that consciousness and made him a humble Vaishnava. And similarly, Devananda Pandit. Devananda Pandit was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. But one day Srivas Pandit had come there and he was hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he experienced an awakening of bhava, ecstatic symptoms manifest in his body. So at that time the students of Devananda, they dragged Srivas Pandit out of the room. It was an offense. They manhandled Srivas Pandit. And Devananda Pandit did not say anything. He was a teacher and he did not correct his students. So later, when Devananda Pandit asked Mahaprabhu for mercy to bless him, Lord Chaitanya said, I will never bless you. You are an offender to Vaishnavas. One who has offended the Vaishnavas will never get my mercy. Of course, later on, Lord Chaitanya did forgive Devananda Pandit. He got forgiven because he did some Vaishnava seva. He had served Vakrishvara Pandit. Vakrishvara Pandit liked to chant and dance for many hours, and people would disturb him. But Devananda Pandit came there and protected Vakrishvara Pandit from all the people. He would not let them disturb him. So Lord Chaitanya was very pleased when he heard this, and he told Devananda Pandit, now you go to Srivas and get forgiveness for your offense. And then, but he said, don't ever think you have understood Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. And as we can never know the full limits of Lord Krishna, we can never fully understand Srimad Bhagavatam. So Lord Chaitanya gave that instruction to Devananda Pandit. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted so much to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day he would go to Gadadhar Pandit and hear about the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj.
To develop that separation. And in ISKCON, we are all in ecstasy. We are eating prasad. We are having sumptuous meals over here. We are going to sleep. Again, we are looking at the Brahma Murta time. But how to develop that mode of separation to get the highest mode of mercy?
Well, I said, first there is advancing, and then there is relishing. You want separation from Krishna, that is the relishing stage. You have to come to that stage by advancement. First we have to hear and chant, right? The feeling of separation, that is a very advanced stage of Krishna consciousness. Of course, that is the mood of the gopis. So, you can hear more about the gopis and how they were feeling separation from Krishna. You can read, for example, from 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, when Uddhava had gone to Vrindavan and he'd met the gopis, and Radharani began to talk to the bumblebee. These different sections of the Srimad Bhagavatam, they describe separation. You have to read these different, you can read these different sections, and you can read the commentaries by the acharyas on these different sections, and in this way it will help you to understand more that feeling, that mood of separation, how it's a very exalted level of Krishna consciousness. Mahaprabhu himself is, sometimes I'd heard that he also, why did he associate with Gadadhar Pandit? Because that's Radharani. So he's learning from her about how to feel that mood of separation. And there were other devotees also, like Dayananda Chandra, Daya Chandra, what's his name? Huh? Anyway, Mahaprabhu also used to hear from him about cultivating that mood of separation. Association, you have to associate with people who are in a similar mood, and then you can also learn from them. So you want to feel separation, you have to find out those devotees who are also cultivating that mode and associate with them, and they can guide you. Right? We go on Sankirtan. Actually, the mode of a preacher in distributing Prabhupada's books, performing Sankirtan, is like the mood of the gopis. Because the gopis, they're always thinking about others, bringing others to Krishna. They don't try to enjoy Krishna themselves, but they try to bring others. They make arrangements for Lord Krishna to be with Srimati Radharani. They don't try to compete with Radharani and cultivate that like Radharani, but they make arrangements for her to be with Krishna. So if you do Sankirtan and you go out and distribute books and give Krishna consciousness to people, that is cultivating the mood of the gopis. So in our everyday service, you can be cultivating that consciousness. Take some books, go out and try it yourself. You want to feel separation from Krishna? That's how you can feel it. You go out on Sankirtan and distribute books. You'll feel the separation. Do you ever go on Sankirtan? Yes? Good. No? So do you feel that mood when you're doing Sankirtan? Mm-hmm. Well, you have to cultivate that mood more. Separation from Krishna. So you read these sections from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and you read Ancha Lila, read about Mahaprabhu and the final years of his sannyas, how he is cultivating separation from Krishna. You read it, you hear about it, and you can understand how you can also cultivate that same mood. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Narasimha, please accept my invitation. In the case of Chota Haridas, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denied giving his mercy to Chota Haridas because he was unable to follow the standards of renounced order. I personally feel that as a devotee, we have I have certain rules that I should be following, but I know personally myself that I have a lot of faults, and occasionally there are fall downs. So what hope is there that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denied Chota Haridas, what hope is there?
Well, you have to understand that you're in a very different situation from Junior Haridas. Junior Haridas was in the renounced order of life. Now you are not in the renounced order of life. You're working, is it? You have a job? Yeah? Maybe.
No, I'm a student.
You're a student. Okay, you're a student. So you're not renounced, right? Students, that's like you're not brahmachari. Brahmacharis live in the ashram. Brahmacharis, they will follow the sannyasis. But Junior Haridas had taken vows of renunciation. Vows of renunciation. Now in the Vedic culture, when you make these vows of renunciation, it's very strict. There's no compromising. Particularly in their line, that Mahaprabhu's line was in the line Shankaracharya, very strict rules and regulations. So Mahaprabhu wanted to show an example to everyone that they have to take these vows very seriously and not compromise in any way on the standards. So you are a student, you're not anywhere near renouncing the world. So there's a lot of time for you to come to the standards. And the standard which you may like to come to should not be necessarily like somebody like Junior Haridas or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because that is the final stage of life. Now, you're a student, that is the beginning stage of life. The final stage of life, I said sannyas is like walking dead man. It's not for young people, in other words. It's not meant for young people really. It's a final stage of life where you're renouncing. So, in your old age, you can think about that. But not yet. Okay, any other question?
Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the nice class. You summarized the whole life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My question is that you mentioned about Brahmana of Mathura, whom Mahaprabhu paid obeisance because he was the god brother of Ishwar Puri, disciple of Madhavan Puri. And also we see in the case of Ramchandra Puri also, Mahaprabhu accepts collection from Ramchandra Puri, though Ramchandra Puri was criticizing Mahaprabhu because he is the god brother of Ishwar Puri. They treated him as like his spiritual master. But in the case of Nityan Prabhu also took initiation from Madhavendra Puri. Mahaprabhu treated him as his brother and he instructed him. So, can you explain why this difference?
Well, there will be different situations, you see. Sometimes Mahaprabhu would instruct him. Sometimes they would be joking together. We know Lord Nityananda told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ready to kill Jaghai and Madhai, but it's Lord Nityananda who corrected him and said, in this age, you must be merciful. So, sometimes Lord Balaram, in dealing with Lord Krishna, would display the different rasas. Sometimes Balaram would massage Krishna, sometimes Krishna would massage Balarama. Sometimes Balarama will be like a father, and sometimes he will tell Krishna, just like when Krishna cut the hair off Rukmi, he said, come on, this is your brother-in-law. How could you do this to your brother-in-law? You know, Lord Balaram chastised Krishna in the presence of his wife. But other times, you know, sometimes Balaram will be in a different mood. So Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya told him, don't come to Jagannath Puri, you stay in Bengal and preach. But still Nityananda would come. He would still go to Jagannath Puri because he wanted to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he's seeing Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. He's not just seeing him on the material basis that he's a god brother, or he's a disciple of my guru or whatever. He's seeing him on the spiritual platform. So when we see someone, oh, he's a disciple, that's material, that's the bodily conception we're making. But on the higher platform, we see him in the spiritual sense, that Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Mahaprabhu can give instructions to Lord Nityananda, who is in his expansion. Right? Yes?
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my appreciated humble obeisances. Maharaj was speaking about Devananda Pandit. So Devananda Pandit, when we did the Bhagavatam class, Srimad Pandit happened to be there and he got into ecstasy. He lied down and he started exhibiting the symptoms of ecstasy. Disciples couldn't understand him and they took him outside. They said in our temple also someone is not in class and someone happens to come in the class and start calling, starts showing symptoms of ecstasy. So what should we do at that time?
Yeah, I remember, well, I was a very new devotee actually. One time in London, in 1971, I was a very new devotee and we had somebody come and they were rolling on the floor and we had this other devotee there. He was a very senior man and he kicked him. I was shocked, you know. But I definitely feel that wasn't the right thing to do. You know. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, do you remember that Subhav Maharaj? Remember Akshayananda? Remember Akshayananda? He did it. He kicked the man. Huh? Prabhupada said we could kick.
You say, you see somebody criticizing or say or denying Krishna or his Guru, you should leave many things. One of them is cut his tongue, Krishna. Use your common sense. Sometimes it is India, come on. Rolling the floor and so you come to India, you do that thing, they will beat him up. They will beat him up, I think. Don't do that. Prabhupada sometimes criticize many persons. If somebody going to do the same person criticize, they will beat him up. I did not tell Prabhupada, but Prabhupada just tell me. In there, this is my experience. So better we come to common sense and see where you are situated and what is the time, place, circumstance to consider. This is called common sense. It is very common, some guy. It's not a temple. One this Krishnadas, his wife came and they looked at this. And Nara could not
Yeah, we have to be a little careful. Time, place, and circumstance.
He may be stronger. If you are
Yeah. So we don't like to beat people up all the time. So we try to restrict these things. We encourage, you want to be in ecstasy, can you go in the other room over there, you know? Send them out the room, we don't want public exhibitions. Okay. All right. Yes, Maharaji has a question. Yes, Maharaji?
Mike. Anybody has a question?
No?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for such a beautiful class. My question is, many a times when our sadhana gets broken, it's very difficult to come back to that path again. Our enthusiasm gets reduced and we feel very incapable to come to that stage once again. So how to reinstall faith and encourage ourselves again and again that okay, that day will again come, we can again come to Mangalarti on time and chant on time. So, how to re-establish faith?
Well, don't give up coming to Mangal Arti, right? You say sometimes your faith is, sometimes we fall behind maybe with our japa, or sometimes you're not able to come for the morning program. How to again pick up. The best thing is don't ever drop. All right? Try to keep doing it. I remember one time I was in New York at the time. Jayadvaita was sick. He came on the floor to the temple, Mangal Arti. He said, no, I have to come to Mangal Arti. He dragged himself across the floor to come to the temple in the morning to see Mangal Arti. He was so determined, no, I have to come for Mangal Arti. Although he was not able to walk. So sometimes you can do like that. You're not able to, not so easy for everybody. Of course, a woman living outside and then coming here, then sometimes it will be difficult. You have to understand, that in family life, there will sometimes be disturbances. There will be sometimes times where it's not possible to keep up the standards as everybody's doing in the temple. But do your best, and keep trying. The failure is the pillar of success. And so sometimes you get difficulties, but then, okay, we have to expect these things in the beginning. After a while, these things will not happen. In the beginning, maybe in your earlier stage, or maybe you have a younger family at this time or something, so there are obstacles to make it difficult for you. But gradually, these obstacles will be less and less, and you will be able to do everything very nicely without any disturbance. So you have to be patient and you have to be determined, right? Utsahan nischayat daryat. These things are very important. Enthusiasm, patience, and determination. Prabhupada said in everything, these things are important. So especially in our Krishna conscious life, you need that. So you have to just remember this. Yeah, there will be times, sometimes, sometimes you're sick, sometimes you're not able to do things, sometimes the family members won't let you do it. Anyway, you have to tolerate, you have to go on. And gradually these obstacles will become less and less. So be confident. Okay?
Any other question is there?
believe 10, 15
Huh?
10, 15 letters we have to leave.
Okay.
Take that first.
All right. So thank you very much. One question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Okay.
My question is that we are talking about Chaitanya Ramanand Samvad. So in that, when he says about Sarvadharman Parityaja, then Mahaprabhu says go more, and then after some time pure devotional service comes. So my question was that, but actually Sarvadharman Parityaja words that itself can refer to pure devotional service. Like Prabhupada writes in purport that Karmis and Jnanis are not the first class of transcendentals, Bhaktis are the Prabhupada like explains it like that. And then in other places Prabhupada says that gopis embody the spirit of Sarvadharman Parityaja at the highest level. So that verse can also be like taken to explain pure devotional service. But in that conversation it is not referring to that. So that was my question.
Well, are you arguing with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Mahaprabhu did not accept that. You know, he said, when Ramananda Rai says Sarvadharma, Mahaprabhu said, go further. He didn't say it was wrong, but he said, go further. He didn't say it was wrong, but he said, keep going. Because Mahaprabhu wants to make it very clear what is pure devotion. And that pure devotion means simply hearing about Krishna in the association of pure devotees. So this is what, and when Ramananda Rai quoted that verse, then Mahaprabhu said, now let's discuss this verse. And then they went in and they discussed the different rasas, and then they discussed about Madhurya Ras, and then they discussed about different moods in Madhurya Ras, and different devotees in Madhurya Ras, and then finally they came to Srimati Radharani, who is the topmost. And like this, Ramananda Rai was describing all of this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu wanted to hear all of this. He wanted to hear about pure devotion. But as I said, Sarva Dharma, yes, it can be pure devotion, but it can also be something else. People can surrender with motivation. There is a chance for pollution to be there in the process of surrender. That is why Mahaprabhu said, go further. But if we just simply focus on hearing from pure devotees, there's no possibility of any contamination there. Okay? Hare Krishna. So
There are a few more questions, but I think he's saying that you have to go. Huh? So, Maharaj will give class tomorrow also.
they were coming tomorrow.
Yes, so we'll take more question answers tomorrow. Okay? Maharaja has now. So let us thank Bhakti Maharaj for a wonderful class. By loudly chanting thrice. He's always Bhakti Vighnavinasa, Narasimha.